In a green valley between big mountains, there was a kingdom ruled by a tyrant named Borbo. Borbo wasn't an ordinary ruler, and his kingdom wasn't a normal place. It was a world of mirrors, where everything only showed what Borbo wanted people to see. Its inhabitants, known as the Shimmers, lived within these reflections, entirely under his control. He gained power by making smooth speeches and big promises. He told the Shimmers that under his rule, their lives would be full of food, freedom, and happiness. "All you have to do is follow me," he said, his voice sweet and smooth. "I will lead you to greatness." But Borbo's words were empty, because behind the mirrors he controlled, there was no wealth, no freedom, and no happiness, only chains. He created fake reflections showing a world full of riches, while the real world, just out of sight, became empty. Food became scarce, freedoms were taken away, and the people, tricked by the reflections, worked endlessly for Borbo, trusting his promises of a better future. For years, Borbo's lies worked. When anyone questioned what was behind the mirrors, he tightened his control, spreading fear and confusion with more lies. "Don't you see the glory of the kingdom?" he would shout, pointing to the mirrors. And those who resisted too much? They simply disappeared into the hall of shadows, never seen again. But one day, a small bit of truth got through. A shimmer named Nola, tired of the endless work, noticed something strange in the mirrors, a reflection of a dying tree behind the image of a golden orchard. Nola, unlike the others, looked closely, trying to match the reflection with reality. What she saw shocked her. The real tree was rotten and dead, hidden behind Borbo's golden lies. Nola whispered what she saw to her neighbor, and then to another, and another. The truth spread quickly, and the Shimmers began to look away from the mirrors. One by one, they saw the wasteland their world had become, the chains on their hands, the lies that filled their lives. Talk of rebellion started, but Borbo wasn't worried, at first. He had ruled by lies before, and when that didn't work, he used force. He ordered his loyal guards, the glassbreakers, to stop the unrest. Many were silenced, and others were pushed back into the illusions. The mirrors were polished, the lies made even shinier and more convincing. Borbo laughed from his throne as he returned to his life of luxury, certain of his victory. But the truth, once seen, can't be unseen. The Shimmers became restless again. This time, their awakening spread further, and they couldn't be controlled so easily. They began to organize, slowly at first, but with growing numbers. They started smashing the mirrors. At first, small cracks appeared, but soon the cracks spread, and entire walls of mirrors shattered, showing the broken world Borbo had hidden. The sound of breaking glass echoed through the kingdom, louder than Borbo's lies. Borbo gave grand speeches, trying to convince the Shimmers that the broken mirrors were lies made by enemies of the kingdom.
"They want to destroy our greatness. Follow me, and we'll fix what is broken."
But now, fewer and fewer Shimmers believed him. His mask began to crack, the big smile fading, and his words lost their power. Desperate, Borbo turned to force again. His glass breakers were sent into the streets, but this time the Shimmers weren't afraid. They fought back, using the broken glass from the mirrors as weapons. The rebellion grew, unstoppable now, like a wave crashing against a weak dam. Borbo, seeing his kingdom fall apart, retreated to his fortress deep in the mountains. There, surrounded by the few mirrors that still reflected his lies, he hoped to regain control. He ordered his last loyal followers to defend the fortress, but even they began to question him. One by one, they left, leaving Borbo alone with his reflections. In the end, Borbo couldn't face the truth. He stared at his own reflection in a cracked mirror, seeing his bloated body, his masked face, and the kingdom that had turned against him. The mask, once strong, fell off, and for the first time, Borbo saw himself not as a great leader, but as the fraud he truly was. The Shimmers, now marching to his fortress, were ready to capture the tyrant who had lied to them for so long. But Borbo, not willing to face his end, took one last look at the broken mirrors, pulled out a blade, and ended his own life in his dark, crumbling throne room. The Shimmers arrived moments later, to find Borbo lying still among the shattered pieces of his broken lies. His rule of deception was over, and as the people stepped out of the shadow of the mirrors, they began to rebuild. Not with lies, but with truth.